What is good, fellas? In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at both Jam Stage, which is fantastic with a ton of detail, may I add. You're absolutely going to love it, I'm telling you. You're going to just sit there and go like, wow, my goodness, they love the stages in this game. And we're also going to take a look at Jam herself. All of her neat animations and everything that you want to see. Jam has plenty of amazing animations involving the bunny, right? I mean, just look at the little guy, he turns into a ball during the idle stance. He can be a wee bit of a nuisance jumping about on Jam on the crouch idle, to which she shows some finesse to catch the little guy, not letting him get silly with it, if you will. And what's interesting is that a lot of the normals involve Jam taking care of the little guy before actually attacking. With r/, he's trying to jump away and Jam pulls him right back and goes for a kick with slash. On 5H, the bunny actually jumps on her face and then she has to quickly be like, oh yeah, I'm still in the middle of a fight. Even though she's shocked, she starts throwing out an elbow with her 5H. This shows the Jam, even though all the goofy stuff's going on, is able to take care of this little guy who's just an absolute chud, I love it, and able to show off her martial art prowess. And with 2S, she's able to swing down with both of her fists. The little guy tries to jump on her face again, and she's just not having it, going really low down to avoid it, make him fall down. In 6K, a very martial arts looking kit, you gotta love it, this is nothing but pure Kempo style. And the little guy gets into it as well. Look at him, he's posing up. Watch out! And taking a look here at the 6P, I quite like the animation, the way the smear frames are done, but the main thing to note is that the poor little rabbit is being choked out. And then he's just so fed up. Continuing to close slash, it's a very nice animation with the smear, the way the clothes move and the hair flies, but also the way the bunny flips out of a hand position messing up. And there's so many good expressions on here, both from Jam and the bunny. And of course, with a clean catch, it's what you're expecting from Jam. Our throw has a good chunk of detail, obviously, with the rabbit being involved. This is going to be most of the video, by the way, is this little rabbit. With her preparing to do the strike, the little guy gets confused, but you'll actually notice that as she does the strike, he puts his hand forward as well, like he wants to be a part of it. And then, of course, when she's done, she's sending the opponent flying, and then been like, oh, easy catch. It's what you expect from her at this point, and the expressions again, fantastic. The air throw didn't really have a ton of animation detail. I wanted to look at the walk, for example, but it's very simply modeled when I was taking a look at it. Nice smear frames across the board, and not a ton of expression, but very nice. Now her blocking animation is very, very funny, super detailed, where if she blocks more and more and more, she does different poses. This is 2 blocks, this is what happens when it comes to 2 blocks, she puts her hand up. If she blocks 3 times, whoa, she's shocked, look at that, the bunny's like, hold up, can you block this? Can you block this? Are you that good? And when you block 4 things, the bunny will jump on her face as she's still holding the block animation, as if to say, I can't look. That's what the little guys do, he's like, I can't look. In the crouch animation, it's a bit the same, right? Obviously the shocked face when you block 3 more attacks, they're all like, can you block all this? And then on the 5th one, jump on your face, and then they'll still do the block animation. Very nice, ton of detail here, reminds me of Slayer. She's doing her usual low, going all like, oh, business as usual, and then realizing, oh shit, I dropped the bunny. And now if you look at this, she puts her hand out in time, being all like, usual pose, I've got him, he's fine. And he's posing as well. This caught me off guard. I didn't even realize this when I was looking. It looks really cool the way this was done. Again, there's so many animation details you just don't notice in the moment. For example, on this overhead, it's usual smear frames, usual 3D model on the effects, but you'll see she's actually holding the bunny as she's supposed to. Hand behind the head, make sure he doesn't get hurt. And the dragon kick is so fast in the startup, it's very hard to catch startup frames. And the interesting thing about the dragon, it's a 3D model, it's not a 2D texture, it's not like an image, it's an actual model, which kind of shocked me. I thought it'd be an image, and it's actually inside Jam. as she's recovering, she'll get, like, again, business as usual, getting ready to land, and the bunny is just shocked. And as they land, and this is why I think Jam has a ton of recovery, catching the bunny. Look at that, big smile, got him and everything. The start of the Dragon Kit, like I said, hardly any frames of notice. Looking at the dash animation, it's very interesting. She does what she usually does, but it's just, again, it's the bunny. You add so much life to her animations. And when she does the puffball, looking at how she cradles the little guy, he's like a baby. But if you look at her arm here, she actually does the Bruce Lee thing, where it'll shake back and forth. Watch. And on the parry, she looks very disappointed when she whiffs it, and if she lands it, a little bit of a smug, but not a whole lot. And if she lands it with the hit, she does like the so bad guy far slash, and the body's just like, well damn, that's a parry. Jam Super is really funny from an outside angle. If you take a look at it, you just see a mess. It is so insane. I went back as far as I could at one point to see what was going on. It is so hard to tell what's going on. There's just so much detail in this. Like, even in the items that you see for a frame, they have a ton of detail. And looking at Jam herself, oh yeah. They'll squash and stretch the hell out of these models. But with the background and the wind tornado in the background, it's super interesting how it's done. And the facial animations, oh my god. They were made for specific angles, guys. Do not be judging. This is beauty in the making. Now, interesting thing about the dive kick, overall it's a fantastic animation, cool 3D effects, but what I noticed was the impact frame is a literal impact frame. They have a whole frame for the impact. Take a look at the taunts here. She'll do this thing where the money pops up on her face, the world dollars, and then when you go take a look, I thought it'd be inside her head, you know, because it's a 3D model, they need to store it somewhere, and I couldn't find anything. I could only find the earrings, and of course, scary stuff, bro. Oh my goodness. And the bunny on the back taunt, when you do the money taunt, it's just like, oh my god. The expressions are just fantastic. The bouncing animation didn't have anything too insane. It's actually just really well done. I thought there'd be a ton of clipping, but no, not really. And this animation so much, absolutely love it. Made to be seen from one side as you see, but that smug face on the bunny just does it for me. On the RC, people may not notice this, but when she strikes a pose, she actually holds the bunny on her leg and he joins in. And he looks like a fat little chud, bro. Look at that little tooth sticking out, bro. That's Jam, but now we're going to take a look at the stage, see if we can notice any hidden details, and I was able to find quite the couple. But getting started in the starting area, there's just so much life and variety here. It's really cool the way everything's modeled, like the statue for example. And looking back, you can see that there's not much of a ground, even though it's textured. The player will never see this, but they put in a decent bit of effort, and the way the lights are done and all the text. If anyone wants to tell me what the text is, please do so. I would love that. But one thing I'm curious about is that up there. Is that a 3D model? Well, after traveling from quite the bit, we're going to show you a little bit of an update. That is the second area that we're going to be talking about in a moment, and the background is not viewable because we're in the clouds. As we continue to go up, you see how far away the world is. My goodness, just look at that. It's so far away, and we're not even there yet. This is the mad thing. We're going to turn around here, not even there yet. And those things that are in front of a 3D model are actual 2D textures because they don't have another side. If they had another side, you'd be able to see them when I turned around, but you don't. And this is a very interesting thing because it certainly is a 3D model with 2D planes attached. Taking a look here, you can see that it's 3-dimensional for sure. And again, it's so far away, man. Like, look. Like, there's no need to make it 3D considering that's the starting position. But taking a look, it actually animates, it spins around. That's what's going on here. This thing is like a dial, it spins. And it's got all these texts on the planes. And again, if anyone wants to translate it, figure it out, tell me, I'd love to know. And trying to look at the back here, it's super interesting. There's this little square texture thing. I don't know what it is I'm looking at, but the interesting thing, it's not 2D plane texture, it's a 3D model. As you see, there's a lot of polygonal stuff going on here. It is a 3D model, so it's got me curious. I wonder what's it doing here. Is it a missing texture? Is it something that was needed for later? I don't know. But the sky, very interesting that it's a 3D model. You wouldn't even know from here. But yeah, very nice. I quite like this starting area. It's already got a ton of life. You get pulled into the streets, if you will. You feel like this whole Chinese heritage to it. Heading into the next area, we've got this farm-like zone. It's very cool. It's got a ton of life to it, and I love green, right? I'm Scottish. I take a look here. This pelican is nicely animated. For a character, you won't really see his face, right? He doesn't really turn to the camera that often. I think he does it one time, like here, as you see, but no need to be animating all this, man. They're just so in love with the job. Now, I was curious if she was actually animated, because her back is turned the entire time. She'll never turn around, but she is super animated and with a face and eating away in her dumpling, absolutely loving it. Again, fantastic detail for a thing that you'll never see. I want you to keep that in mind. And like the background, this is what you won't see. Not that interesting, but this might be a logo for the farm here, and that bird is a big deal. Look at the buildings on the right, you see if there's any details here that were insane. And not really. I could tell that maybe this was supposed to be a torch building, where if it was during the night there'd be a fire, which I would love to see this stage at night. I think it would be a fantastic detail to it. Buildings all have their own textures, which I think is neat for something, again, the player will never see. You'll never see it. And looking at the water isn't actually real. It's a big empty plane, but they put in some effects to give you the feeling of flowing water, like there's steam, constant movement. This tool really sells it to you as well, the way it lets the water driplets. From afar, this looks really good, but from up close, you can tell it's a bit silly looking. But the turtle, now I absolutely love turtles, for I own one. This is my little chud. This is Terra. He's spinning about. Pin, I believe, was watching the entire time. Very silly indeed. But unlike being in the water, this one contains water. Very cool snapping turtle design, and had a snake tail. That is a snake on the tail. And the other turtle is the exact same 3D model from what I saw. But on to the next area. This is where we go to the bustling streets of all the cooking. And turning around, there isn't anything that's insane to know. It's about what you'd imagine, not much detail because the player will never see it. And going to this table, the people eat their food, where a waiter comes up. I believe this might be employee of Jam's work here. As you see, she's just yapping away to the customers, and they're all really well animated for being quite the distance from the player. I want you to keep in mind, these guys are quite a wee distance away, but it does look decent. And there's a cat here, very odd indeed, because the player will never see this, it's so far away. And then this big guy, the cook himself, and I was curious to what he was making. Definitely some type of fried rice type dish. I can't tell what though. We do see the egg yolk, we do see the rice, but I can't tell what it could be. So I'd love to hear what you guys tell me. I'd love to hear the details. But I thought it was pretty neat that he does have some randomly 3D textured fruit compared to the generic ones. I thought it was odd. I wasn't expecting that. Now here's the thing, what does he look like under the bucket? He looks like nothing. Yeah, taking a look here, you'll see it is just darkness. There's no facial textures. And looking at the background, you see how big he is and how much he's got to work with. It's something caught my eye here. This wanted poster. If anybody knows who that's supposed to be, I'm thinking May. I'd love to know, because I'm pretty sure she's involved with me in the story, am I right? Nothing insane in the background, and then there's another customer here, again super well animated for a character that's not even that close. And what I love, as she eats, she turns to the big guy, kind of giving some criticisms. I love it, it's great. As we continue on to the streets with the people getting involved with their businesses and that, it's actually quite a good feel to it despite being 2D textures, as you see here. And getting further away, you notice that the 2D textures have less and less detail. And I'm kind of curious if these 2D textures were based after a character, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, this looks hyper specific. I don't know what I'm looking at, but it's hyper specific. As we continue on, we see more and more textures and a big glowing door, and this is what it looks like from behind, nothing mad, but the glowing door, what could possibly be in it?
You son of a bitch, you've not featured me in a video for ages!
But yeah, that is it for today's video. Very nice. There's a ton of detail and jam in our stage, and I'm kind of hoping that you guys can give me some answers like the wanted posters or maybe some of the text that we got to see, because I don't know how to translate it. It's nice to explore the stages and the characters. I think next time I'll probably look into Robokai and all his silliness, and I'm looking forward to that. And if you guys enjoyed, be sure to like, hype, sub. Tell me what you thought about the stages. Which one is your favorite stage? Which one is your favorite character to look at? Because I've done a video on this and I recommend checking it out. But that's going to be me, Panda, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!